good, YouTube? It's your boy, Average Fan, and in today's video, we have a recap of MLB The Show 23. The best players for second and shortstop, for first base, outfield, and the best starting and closing pitchers that you can use. This is my opinion. I'll show you. I have it all listed on the teams. You can see from the screen. We have the shortstop and second base. I will tell you my top 3 out of them, but let's get right into it. So, to start it off, we have Jose Ramirez. Great card overall. He's a switch hitter. Fast speed, 89 at P5. Can hit any pitch that comes at him. Doesn't matter inside, outside. Has an amazing swing. One of the best on the game. You can't ever go wrong picking him. I would definitely pick him and use him and try him out. We have the set 1, Francisco Lindor. Always been a good card. I know he has another card that's been released, but I personally think that the set 1 is better. Then we have Jimmy Rollins. His vision comes in so clutch when you need it most. It makes your PCI extremely big. His contact helps. On top of that, he has 99 speed. He's a diamond defense player. His strike zone is small for those of you who like small strike zones. A great pick to choose. Definitely will pick him up if you haven't. We got Corey Seager. One of the best players in real life popped off. He popped off in the World Series run. Great card. He's a lefty, but his swing just can hit righties, lefties, it doesn't matter. We got Ozzy at second. Ozzy has a stride that helps you see the ball better. Big kick. If you love leg kicks, he's the one to go to. Very good hitter. Comes in clutch in very clutch moments. He has 125 clutch. He's a little iffy on defense because his height, but he does have diamond defense. Can't go wrong with him. We have the man himself, Ellie De La Cruz. One of the best cards in the game. Not just talking about this category, but just in the game overall. Crazy card. Fast. Can hit bombs, straight nukes. And his defense is elite. No balls coming up the middle when you have him at shortstop. He's getting to every play, and his arm throws out any speed. It doesn't matter if it's 99 speed, he's throwing them out. We got Ketel Marte, another switch hitter. Ketel is just Ketel. I mean, he can hit the ball. 99 stealing. His speed is pretty good. He fits the durability team, the Jimmy Rollins boost team. A lot of them do too. Ellie does. Ramirez does. Jimmy does. Now we got Brian Roberts. This card has been the best Brian Roberts that they dropped out of any MLB. He has 99 speed. He has great defense. A 125 vision. His contact and power are juiced. And I can show y'all an example. This is how his stats looked with a boost on his stats. That is crazy. No way that you're not hitting nukes with him. Same thing for Ozzy. That's his with the boost. A lot of these cards you can use with boost, and it makes their stats just crazy. The next card we have is Trey Turner. He could play second base, third base, center field, has that 99 speed. His arm is 80. It's okay, but it does the job. Has amazing swing, can turn on the ball. I would pick him up if you haven't tried him. Our next is Chipper Jones, one of my favorite cards in the game. With boost, he gets 125 everything, and he has 122 clutch, which helps on top of it. Has a great swing, can hit any pitch thrown at him, and he's a switch hitter. You know that he had to make the list. We have Kyle Seager as well. You can get him in the collection with Brian Roberts. He comes before Brian Roberts. Also a very good card, 125 clutch. It makes it a durability team. Diamond defense, can't go wrong with him. Torres, a lot of Yankees fans love this guy. I do too. Very great player in real life and on the game. I use him in clutch situations. He has that 125. It really helps. He can hit nukes, has a great swing. Pick him up. And Marcus Simeons. I just got put on Marcus. I need to use him more. I really never tried this card, but I should have tried him way before. This is my stats with him on Legends. I'm hitting a 333 with him on Legends, and that is all I've used him on. And he has been hitting righty on righty, righty against lefty. He's just GOAT tier. So wrapping all that up, my top 3 picks would be at number 3, Jose Ramirez. At number 2, it would be Ellie De La Cruz. And at number 1, it would be Brian Roberts. Going into first base, we have Adley Rutschman. He could play catcher and first base. He has a very great swing. If y'all think that he's good on All-Star or Hall of Fame, whatever y'all play on Legend, he hits even better. It's just, for some reason, it's easier for him to get across on the ball than other cards. I would definitely pick him up. We have Yasmani as well. He has a smaller PCI for those of you who aren't the best at hitting with smaller PCIs. But his power and his contact make up for it. Once you do get on the ball, he's sending them. He has one of the best launch angles in the game. A very good and underrated card. Now we have Bryce Harper. I'm very happy that they put him as first base in this game this year. They haven't done it any other years. Bryce, this is my stats with him hitting on Legend. All of these at-bats are just on Legend. No other difficulty, and he hits a 528. He hits home runs versus lefties, righties. He can catch up to any pitch. He has one of the best swings and launch angles as well in the game. Next up, we have Jimmy Fox. Jimmy can play first base, and he can play third base and catcher. He's a slap hitter, and some people like him, some people don't. You either hate him or you love him. There's no in between. Me personally, I think that he is an iffy card, but I've seen a lot of people who love this card. Try him out for yourself. We have Wade Boggs. This is one of the most underrated cards in the entire game. He hits straight nukes, straight bombs, gets on the base when you need him to. His 125 vision, you can see almost every pitch on any difficulty. He has a 125 clutch. This is what I bat with him on Just Legend with 19 at-bats of 526. He is one of the clutchest cards out of every card that we've seen, that I've said. Use him. We have Carlos Santana. He's a switch hitter. Very good card. Has a great swing. I think he really struggles against sinkers on the outside and fork balls. But any other pitch, he's very good at hitting. I'm not the best with him, as I bat a 214. But a lot of people use him. A lot of people are great with him. I'm just one of those people who aren't. He might be good for you, but for me, he's not. But he still is one of the best cards as a first baseman pick in this whole game. Next is George Brett. I'm a fan of George Brett. I've been a fan of George Brett for a while now. In 22, he had one of the better cards everybody used, and he still has a great card. Not a lot of people use him, but he has a great swing just like he does every single year. If you need a first baseman, a cheap first baseman, I would go with George Brett. Next is the Yankees legend, bringer of rain, Josh Donaldson. He's a great card. Um, a little iffy on inside pitches, but once you get used to his swing, it's all gonna work out. I bat pretty well with him, a 498. Took me a bit of getting used to, a bit of adjusting, but he's well worth it when you do get adjusted to his swing. And one of my favorites out of the whole list is Anthony Santander. You have to grind for this card. I do not think he's viable. Oh, he is. He's 800,000. If you have 800,000 stubs and you're looking for a first baseman, I would 100% spend it on Anthony Santander. I use him on Legend, on Hall of Fame, and he has hit every game for me. Gets on base every time I need him to. His 94 vision is not really 94 vision, it's more like 130 because you can clearly see every pitch with him. And when he does make contact, you're not going to be failed. He will get on the bag. I bat a 403 with him with 500 at bats, and that is all on Hall of Fame and Legend. Very great player. He is honestly one of the top picks. Next, we have Joe Mauer. Joe Mauer has a good swing, but some games he doesn't have a good swing. I see a lot of people who use him and go crazy with him. I'm not one of those people, but he does have a good swing. If you do have stubs left over, he is 400,000. I would pick him up if you want to use him as a catcher, but he does play first base as well for secondary. Nick is one of the cards in this game that has a crazy good swing, kind of like Bryce Harper, and they do play for the same team. His vision and his contact and his power makes his PCI a lot bigger than most people. I'm more than 100% sure that his PCI is bigger than most people's with 125 vision. So if you're looking for bigger PCIs, I would pick up Nick. He's a great hitter overall. This is what I bat with him on Legend, a 424. Next up, we have the man himself, Frank Thomas, White Sox home run king. In 22, a lot of people used him. Not a lot of people used him this year, but he is still the same card, the same swing. He has a great swing. Used him on Legend as well. 575. Can't ever go wrong with Mr. Frank. And our last one for our first baseman to pick up is Austin Riley. Austin is just like Frank to me. He has a great swing. I would actually put Austin above Frank with his swing. He fits a 99 durability team as well. And I bet a 485 with him, using him on Legend. Another great card. There's so many first basemen to pick out of. It's hard to choose. But for me, my top three would be, at third would be Wade Boggs. Then I would choose Adley Rutschman would be my second pick, and my first pick would be Anthony Santander. It's a hard pick for third place between Wade Boggs and Yasmani. Both great cards. Same thing with Bryce, but overall, I would choose Wade Boggs. Going into our outfield, there's so many good outfielders in this game. It was hard to choose from, but these are the best ones to me, in my opinion. throughout this whole game. We have Ken Griffey Jr. in left field. He plays center field as his main position, but if I would use him, I would use him in left field because there are players like Ronald Acuna that could play center, Mike Trout that could play center, Tim Raines. So that's where I would put him because his speed is a little less than them at 94. But every year, Ken Griffey has one of the best swings. We all already know that. Tim Raines. A lot of people sleep on Tim Raines. He has one of the biggest PCIs. If you're looking for the biggest PCIs, he has one of the biggest ones. He has 99 speed in the outfield. He's getting to every single ball. He has 99 reaction. He's not missing a ball in the outfield. He's going to catch up to warning track hits. He covers a lot of the ground. He also has a small strike zone as he is 5'8". One of my favorite cards, one of the clutchest cards I've ever played with. He has 125 clutch as well. Great swing, great stats. He lives up to his stats. A card many people usually use, but he doesn't fit durability teams, so not a lot of people have used this card this year, but it's Brian Reynolds. He can smack the ball. He doesn't have the best swing compared to everyone else on this list, but he definitely has a great swing. He's a collection card. I bought a 328 with him again. This is on Legends. Still, he comes through when you need it. He might not get every hit, but when you do need the hit, he will get the hit for you. Now we have the man himself, Mike Trout. Everyone loves Mike Trout. He fits a durability team. He has 99 speed, a 99 arm, can gun anyone out. He can hit inside pitches, outside pitches. If you have a lot of stubs, 499, I would choose him. He also has a whole bunch of quirks that you want. Bad ball hitter, dead red. He's easy to hit fastball, breaking balls, pitches out the zone. I would choose Mike Trout. If you haven't got him, I would pick him up. Next up, Ronald Acuna. He is the fastest right fielder in this game. Will get to any ball in the right field. He fits the 99 durability team. He has 92 reaction, a 92 arm. He's almost maxed out on all his stats, and his vision is almost fully maxed out. He does have 125 clutch. He's a great card, has a great swing. He's just a legend. Great at stealing the bags. If you love to steal bags, he's stealing every single one when he's on the bag. Next is Cody Bellinger. I would not run Cody in the outfield because his speed, and there's so much better players with different speed, but still the 82, it will get you through. He's not going to miss that many balls. I would really honestly put him at first base if I was to choose him. He also has a really big PCI, and he'll send nukes, has one of the best exit velocities in the game as well. I would say he's probably a top 5 in that category. But if you don't have Cody, I would pick him up. He's kind of hard to get because he is a collection card. Next is Vlad. Vlad is one of them known in real life for bad ball hitting in the game. He can hit pitches out of the zone really far. He has a good swing. If you really like righty on righty matchups, I would pick up Vlad. He is the best righty on righty hitter other than Mike Trout. He also has decent speed in the outfield at 87. He has a 99 arm, so he can gun anybody as well. Definitely a solid pick. Next, we have Charlie Blackmon. Now, his speed is just like Cody Bellinger. It's not the fastest, but it's doable. He does have a very low reaction, which does hurt him. But he is a slap hitter, and slap hitters get around the ball faster and hit the ball better than most other players. So for the lack of his defense, his hitting stats and his swing makes up for it all. I've only played Legend with him, and he bats a 429 with me. He can turn on any ball on Legends, so I'm pretty sure on other difficulties he would do even better. But he's a pick that is hard to pass by. He's also a collection card, so you would have to grind to get him if you were wanting to get him. He is in the set 4 collections. Lou Brock. I'm a fan of him in real life. He was a very, very great player back in the old days. He's fast, 99 speed. He gets to every ball. He also has 125 clutch. If you like to bunt the ball, he can drag bunt the ball. He has 99. He just gets on the bag. His swing is also great. He does not have a slow swing. He has a very fast swing. So if you're struggling, I would pick him up and I would use him. I bat a 500 with him. All my at bats have been on Legend. Very good card. He's always came clutch for me when I needed him. Out of 7 hits, he's had 3 home runs. So in reality, it should be all max 125, but his stats are less than what he does. On the bench, we have Ian. Ian is, I wish they made a better 99 of him because he does lack in the outfield. His speed is incredibly low. His reaction time is even better than his speed, but it just doesn't work out. His power is lower compared to everybody else on this list. Ian is not there, but if you do have him and you don't have anyone else on the list, I would use him because his swing is very good. I bat a 595 with him. Again, he has a very great swing. He will hit the ball. It's just compared to the list, there's better cards. Okay, so this is the other Randy Johnson. If y'all don't feel like grinding to get the Randy Johnson I showed y'all, there's another Randy Johnson in the game. He's just as good. His stats are even better than the other Randy. He goes for 300,000, basically 400,000. He has great quirks. So if you can't grind for the other Randy, I would pick up this Randy if you have the stubs available. Our next pitcher is John Donaldson. John Donaldson, I'm going to say now, is one of the best pitchers as well. He's right by Randy. He has the forkball that gets the players off balance. He has outlier on his slider and on his four seam. He has a nasty slurve and a sinker to mix with it. I'm 74-16 with him, with almost 300 innings pitched, which is outrageous, and I need to get off the game. And he's very cheap. He's only 16,000. So, as you can see, he has outlier on his slider and his fastball both. Our next pitcher is Al Leiter. Now, I know that a lot of people don't like slower pitchers, but this pitcher, he's not only a slower pitcher, but he can dot every single pitch that you throw. He is one of the best pitchers that I have used in a long time when it comes to slower pitchers. He does not have outlier, but that doesn't matter because he can dot pitches and he has a good pitch mix with the sinker and the cutter and the slider to all mix together. Our next pitcher is the Professor Greg Maddux. Always been a fan of Greg. Use him every single year that he drops. He's another pitcher that throws slow, that does not have outlier but can dot. Every pitch can hit the corners. He's just a strikeout pitcher, and if he does not strike out the player, it makes weak contact because of the locations that he throws. It goes where you want the pitches to go, which is really hard to find for pitchers in this game. So I would pick up Greg. I think he's pretty cheap as well. He's 15,000. And the last one for the starters is Patrick Corbin. I used to be a hater of this card until I started using him. He has a weird release and he has a very, very good sinker. I don't think, no, he does not have outlier on any of his pitchers, but his sinker, some reason, it seems like it does have outlier on it. It goes really fast and he has the circle change the slider to go with it. And what makes him really lethal is if you're versing a player who loves to chase pitches out of the zone. He has that curveball that goes 69 miles an hour and it will get any batter off key. He's just a good card overall to use. Another tip for y'all is when you pitch, they messed up the energy this year with a lot of the pitchers, so they're not going to easily pitch 7 innings, 9 innings. You want to pitch your pitchers for 4 innings, 5 at the max, and pull them and go to your bullpen. Now for our closers, it's Emmanuel Clase. He's another person who dots every pitch. He has outlier on his cutter. If I was you, when I use him, I wouldn't really rely on his fastball, even though it goes over 100 because it doesn't have outlier on it. His cutter does, and it's way faster. It can dot way easier, and it's harder to hit a cutter compared to a fastball. And this is my record with him. All on Legends is 21-5. Now, this card is one of the most goated cards in this game. I would put him in the top 2 of every pitcher, starting and closing. It's Tyler Rogers. Now, I know it shows that he throws 84, 75, and 84, which is extremely slow, but he has one of the weirdest and funkiest deliveries out of any pitcher in the game. He throws from his whole body right by the mound. Hard to read his arm slot, and a lot of people can't hit him because of how slow the pitches are and the way that his releases makes those pitches as the sinker come in way faster than what it says. And just to show y'all how dominant he is, I'm 45-8 with him, and he has 17 saves. He is a big pitcher of mine that comes clutch in so many situations. I honestly think he's top 2. Now we have Felix Bautista. He is horrible at locating pitches. I know it says he has 93 control, and that's at P5, but he's one of the worst at locating pitches. But the thing that makes him so dominant is he has outlier on his fastball, and his splitter comes in so fast when it's on Legend and Hall of Fame that it might trick people into thinking that it's a fastball, and it dips down in its movement more than what a sinker would. And then to throw him off, he has the slow slider, which is really clutch. The only problem with him is just him locating the ball. That's it. But as you see, he does amazing for me. 53 wins, 9 losses, 25 saves. Our next is another fan favorite, Kenley Jansen. He has a great pitch mix with a cutter, slider, sinker, and that slow changeup. And his fastball can reach over 100 miles an hour. He has his hits per 9 and Ks per 9 maxed out. And for those of y'all who don't know what that means, it basically means your opponent's PCI is as small as it can be. And when they make contact, it's most likely an out and not a hit. Next, we have Duran. Duran also has outlier on his fastball, and he has it on his splitter. It's kind of like Batista's splitter, how it looks like a sinker, but it moves even more than a sinker. And this one has outlier. Batista's doesn't. So you can mix the splitter and the fastball and the slider, and his curveball is much slower than his other pitches, which gets a lot of people, and his hits and Ks per 9 are maxed out. This is another weird delivery pitcher. Don't worry if it's a 97 overall, that really doesn't matter. He has a great pitch mix with the slurve, sinker, cutter, circle change, and the fastball. Again, he's maxed out with the hits and Ks. Very weird delivery, hard to hit. The only problem with him is his control. He will throw a couple down the middle. You just pray that they don't see it or they're not on it. He will mess up on that. It is hard to locate with him. But once you learn how to do it, he will be one of the best in your bullpen. Next up is Aaron Loop. I love Aaron Loop. I even have his gold card P5. I don't know why I don't have this one P5. He comes clutch in a lot of situations. Now, one thing when I pitch with him, if I would throw inside, I would only throw cutters because his cutter comes in so slow. But I would mainly aim for the outside parts of the plate versus a batter and never throw inside with him because it's easier to read. His pitches inside, he has a weird delivery, so I would stay throwing on the outside part of the plate with him. And our final pitcher is Matt. Matt, he doesn't have that weird of a delivery, but the way that he delivers the ball makes it so hard for other players to hit. I would mix in the slider, sinker, and cutter, and I would use those to your advantage. And when you see that they're on it, throw in the circle change on the outside parts of the plate. Good pitcher when you need him. He comes very clutch. Solid pick. So out of every single one of the pitchers, the first pitcher I would pick out of the top 3 for the starting pitchers. At third, it would be Al Leader or Leiter. He would be my third pick. My second pick would be Randy Johnson. And my first pick would be John Donaldson. Now for the closing pitchers, this one's really hard, but I would honestly say in third would be Kenley. In second place, I would pick Felix Bautista. And in first place, I would pick Tyler Rogers. So that's it for this video. Those are my starting pitchers, closing pitchers, the outfield, shortstop, and second, and first baseman for y'all to pick up. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm out, y'all. Peace.